All right, without any further ado, let's bring him in. Ryan Keller to the Sam Bourquin Show here on AM 1310 WDPN. What do you say, my friend? It's been about an hour and a half.
What's up, Sammy? How you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you? I'm going to actually pull you up here on the video here in a couple of minutes when I get the opportunity. So you're my go-to guy now here for NHL news, auto racing news, and we had a little conversation earlier today, and you brought to my attention about the collective bargaining agreement that was reached by the NHL. And I've always kind of applauded them for, except for the 1 year where they had no season and no Stanley Cup. They figured it out, and they haven't screwed up since. So tell us about this new CBA for the NHL. Some interesting bullet points off of this.
Yeah, so they're going from an 82-game season to an 84-game season, but they're shortening the preseason from 4 games to 2. And then, they shortened it from 4 to 4 games. So it was 6. It's going to 4 games. If you are a player who has played over 100 regular season games, you're only allowed to play 2 preseason games. So, obviously, I'm a Penguins fan. Crosby, Malkin, those guys, they're only allowed to play 2 preseason games. They want to try to get some of the younger guys, the rookies, the guys who are going to be playing in different leagues to have an opportunity to, see some NHL ice time in the preseason. They shortened the contract that a max player can get from 8 years to 7 years, which I think they just don't want one guy to be, signing those long-term contracts at the end of the year, at the end of their careers for 8 years. Let's see here. The comprehensive playoff salary cap system. It's closing the long-time IR loophole. So in the NHL, if you have a player that goes on long-term IR, their salary comes off the salary cap. And the biggest one was Nikita Kucherov for Tampa Bay. He missed the entire season and was back in time for the playoffs. He had a $9.5 million contract that did not go against the salary cap. So they went and loaded up and brought extra players in. And then when playoff time came, Kucherov came back and it didn't affect their salary cap. So they're eliminating that, which I think a lot of people are happy for, because they won the Stanley Cup that year.
Yeah. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, they won the Stanley Cup that year. So, and he ended up winning the Conn Smythe and was the leading scorer throughout the playoffs. So it kind of worked out in their favor. Deferred salaries, we've seen that before where they're like, we're not going to pay you this year. We're going to pay you the bulk of your contract later down. They got rid of that. There was a thing that I wasn't sure what it meant, e-bug. And that is the emergency. Yeah, it's the emergency backup goalie. So for each game, there is a goalie who just sits there, and if he's needed, he will come in. The only time you're allowed to use him is if both your starting goaltenders go down. Both of your goaltenders go down. But this goalie plays for both teams. Yeah, so he's sitting there. So they've gotten this. They've never gotten to a situation where both goalies from the teams have gone down because they only have one emergency backup goalie. They've actually made that an official position now. So each team will travel with a third goalie who won't dress unless it's absolutely necessary for him to dress.
That is interesting. So, of all those bullet points that you brought up, was there one that really surprised you, one that you really, really like, and one you're like, maybe we could have done without something like that?
I mean, adding on to the schedule is kind of, I'll take it. I'll take 2 extra hockey games. Yeah, but I don't understand the reasoning for doing that. The one I like is that long-term IR loophole that's out of there, because it was there to kind of help teams out if one of their bigger players got hurt throughout the year. But when Kucherov got hurt, they decided that teams started to maybe take advantage of it a little bit. So it's good that that's not there anymore.
Interesting. Ryan Keller is our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. We're streaming live all over this great world at AM1310WDPN.com. And you can also check us out on the WDPN Facebook page, Twitter page, and, of course, the Q92 radio page on YouTube. So they had the strike, that was 85, right? Or 95?
2005.
So, and
Yeah.
there hasn't been one since, correct?
Yeah, and Gary Bateman gets a lot of heat.
He
People
does.
don't like him, but I think that's every commissioner. For some reason, the fans hate every commissioner. But yeah, since 2005, they haven't had any lockouts. They haven't had any missed games. The game has continued to grow. You've seen expansion teams out in Vegas. I heard you talking earlier about the Coyotes in Arizona.
Yeah.
They ended up moving to Utah, and now Utah is just completely renovating their basketball arena to make it so that it's enjoyable to watch for hockey too, with the way they move seats in and out. And
Mm.
there's talk of them adding a team to Atlanta very, very soon.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna jump in right there because we this on this day in sports history. I think it was last week, maybe. Um, they announced that the Atlanta Flames were moving, and they went to Calgary, and they've been the
Yes.
Calgary Flames ever since.
Hmm.
So they went away, and then we go a
The
decade.
Thrashers.
Here come the Atlanta Thrashers. Well,
Yeah.
okay, there they go. Why in the world? Why in the world would you put another team in Atlanta when it
I
clearly
don't know.
doesn't work?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a terrible
I'd
sports town, period.
I'd rather see the Hartford Whalers come back
Yes.
than I would
Yes.
the Atlanta Thrashers. I don't see hockey in Atlanta doing well. Um, I don't know, it's a risk, but I mean, people didn't think hockey was going to do well in Vegas, and they averaged the highest attendance on, throughout the regular season since they've become a franchise. And I don't know.
I mean, how many times do you want to try to shove the square through the round hole? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So one more thing about hockey, we'll move on to racing. So what was there like? Was there actually a big stink about negotiating for certain things when this last contract was about to come up? Because I don't really think it didn't really get nasty, did it?
No, I didn't really hear much about, that they were even negotiating. That's how it was, kind of low key,
Mm-hmm.
not a whole lot going on. And then, I saw the announcement that they're finalizing the new CBA. And I mean, I think the steps they did and the things they did were for the most part needed, other than the extending of the season. I don't understand that. But at least they didn't just add 2 games. They shortened the preseason as well. And, your vets, your guys who've been in the league, they're only allowed to play 2 preseason games anyways. So the addition of the 2 games really isn't going to affect them much.
Interesting. Ryan Keller is our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. All right, let's go to the auto racing. And you are a huge, you're the biggest fan I know of auto racing, whether it's Formula One, NAS, whatever. You love it. You eat it up, eat, sleep, drink, and you know everything about it. Tell our listeners what is going on, or what could be going on possibly over in Mansfield. And I'll let you take it and run with it, because I want you to kind of start down at the studs and grow it out to what this thing might become.
Okay, so the track out in Mansfield closed in like 2009, and at that time they were getting NASCAR Truck Series in there to run races, and it just kind of fell apart, and it disappeared, and the track got bought, and it was supposed to be someone was just going to develop that land. I think there's like 120 or 140 acres or something out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a couple of weeks ago that this former NASCAR driver named Matt Tiff, he had bought the Speedway. He was a former owner of a race team as well. And well, he was racing, and then he had some medical stuff, so he ended up becoming an owner. And he's from the Medina area. That's where he grew up. And he bought the Speedway, and it is under severe disrepair. There is a lot going on there, but yeah, he's redoing the entire track, and in an interview I'd seen, he called it. He wants to do like the Savannah Bananas of racing,
Mm.
and they are going to have just regular dirt track racing there. It's a half-mile track, and uh, he wants to do different things. He wants to do a drift track there. He wants to do. They're going to have a burnout pit to do burnout competitions, and they're still going to have their sprints and their late models and World of Outlaws and that kind of stuff come down there and run. But he wants to make it like a destination, like an event all the time, and do different things like Harlem Globetrotter type stuff, but on a racetrack. And it looks cool. He's got a YouTube channel where you could watch the progress. You can see he's documenting the first couple episodes are really interesting because they go into like the concession stand and there's still like 20-ounce bottles of pop from 2009 sitting there and bags of chips and different stuff like that. But the center section of the grandstands is still up. The press box and stuff is still there. But other than that, they have to redo a lot, and it's a big undertaking. And his timeline is April, May of 2026.
Ooh, boy, that's I don't know if that's going to be enough time.
Yeah, but he's got the original construction crew there with him that did the original construction on the track back in the day, and they're going to town. He's got backers and the community as well, and the mayor and the people of Mansfield want to see this racetrack brought back. And I grew up going to dirt track racing at the Sharon Speedway, that's now owned by Ryan Blaney, who's a NASCAR driver. He's one of the owners over there at in Hartford, Ohio. And I love dirt track racing. For it to be an hour and 20 minutes from here in Canton, I'm excited for it, and I hope it works. And I'm going to be out there checking it out.
Oh, I know you'll be there. You'll be there before anybody, because you'll know before anybody. What was how big of a track was it? Is it? Will it be? Like, what was the seating capacity? What was the the length of the track? What kind of a complex was it before? Well, it's not going to be that now. But
it's a short track. It was always a short track.
Okay.
So it's a half-mile track, and that's what from what everything I've seen is that it's going to stay. It's going to be dirt for the first couple years until they can start generating revenue. And he said, plans in the future of putting asphalt in. He talked about doing motocross too. They've got enough land there where they can do, motocross tracks and have different things. Like, it's hard for these smaller tracks to just have your Friday and Saturday weekend warriors and to generate the revenue that's needed to make it sustainable.
Yep.
So he wants to make an event. He talked about putting a stage and having concerts there, and he's got a lot of big ideas. And I hope they get they're seen through and this comes to fruition.
I think that's what he's going to have to do. You're going to have concerts, and I'm not talking about just the Twing Twang band from down on 4th Street in Mansfield. You're going to have to get some people to come in there. Some fireworks shows, I think, would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna do it right. The one thing I fear when I hear, and I don't know how much money this guy's got or backing or whatever, but I always wonder, are they going to have enough to finish the project? And then to actually run it at a high level and see it through and give it time. That's what I worry about.
I think first of all, he was part owner of a NASCAR team and then sold out of it. So I'm sure he is financially, because there's a lot of land too that this track is on. So it wasn't just the track, it was the land and everything that went along with it as well. And I think he's got the support that's needed to make this happen. He's known throughout motorsports. He was a former, NASCAR driver who unfortunately had to leave NASCAR. But I think everything is in place. He kind of had to have had a plan in order to get it from the people he got it from, because it wasn't for sale. The land, the track was not for sale. Okay. And he reached out to them and asked them, if this is the plan, this is what I want to do, would you be interested in selling it to me? And they liked what he had to say, and it's now his. And like I said, his YouTube channel, Matt Tift, you can go check it out. It's really crazy, the progress that they've made in just I think 3 weeks already.
Interesting. Well, I hope it goes, man. That sounds like that would be kind of cool. And Mansfield from here is what, hour and 5 minutes?
It's not too far, yeah.
Not even there because you're going from the east over Alliance to over to
Yeah.
so maybe an hour and 5.
And it's I think 15, 20 minutes from Mid Ohio as well,
Yes,
where
you're right.
IndyCar races and the IndyCar's off this weekend, and next weekend, the 4th of July weekend, they are at Mid Ohio, and I've had a chance to go see races there. The IndyCar stuff's just awesome there. I'm a big Formula One guy, but if I had a chance to see IndyCar live, I took advantage of it, and it was really, really cool. Mid Ohio is a great place to see a race as well.
No doubt. Brian Keller, our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Hey, I got some news for you. You gave me some news earlier, so I got some for you. Ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company expects its common stock to be deleted by NASDAQ
Yeah.
Capital Market on June 27th.
Yeah, I saw.
Holy macaroni salad. That
Yeah.
hasn't gone well. All right,
No.
well, we'll end on that. We'll end on that big note right there.
Thanks.
On today, you are the go-to man for hockey and auto racing, and anytime something breaks, we will have you on. We love having you. So appreciate the news and enjoy the rest of your day. And gosh, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Sammy. Have a good evening, man.
There he goes. That's our boy Keller, and checking in here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDP.